So this is going to be a little different. We're doing a family yoga class today. I have Martina with me, my daughter, who's 10 years old, who attends Crocker Farm School. And the kids all across the Amherst-Pelham Regional District have been doing remote learning through all this. And I figured that we would do a fun video since we've been already making videos for Amherst Media, which is the local Amherst TV station on Channel 12. So, and Martina's older sister Zuleika is doing the filming, so I just wanted to take a second to thank her for that. So this is truly a kids yoga video for kids, made by kids, and for their families. It's easy enough that anyone can do it. So I think we'll go ahead and start, right, Martina?
Yeah.
So we're going to start laying on the ground. You don't need anything, you don't even really need a yoga mat, but if you have a little square of carpet or something soft to lay on, I would recommend that. So let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to begin laying down on the ground with our palms facing up and our feet relaxed open to the sides and our eyes closed. Just imagine like you're laying on your favorite beach and the warm sand under your skin feels so good that you're just letting your limbs sink heavy down into that warm sand. Take a deep breath in through the nose and fill your belly like a balloon, fill your chest. And as you also exhale through the nose, feel your chest fall and the belly draw down towards your spine. Good. Inhale, fill like a balloon from the bottom up. And as you exhale, empty like a balloon from the top down. And do 4 more breaths just like that, really relaxing on that imaginary sandy warm beach. Soon we'll all be there for real, right? Good. 2 more. Inhale. Letting go of any stress and any tension in the body, feeling good. Good, and on the last cleansing breath, let's let out a little sigh. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good, 1 more, just like that. Inhale, big. Feels so good. So now we're really ready to move. Let's stretch our arms overhead and hook our thumbs. And as our toes point, we're going to press our low back down and feel that nice full-length stretch from fingertips to toe tips. Good. And on the exhale, pull your knees into your chest. And as you do, we're going to rock side to side, but it's more like we're drawing the letter U on the ceiling. We're pulling the shoulders, the knees in towards one shoulder and then around and into the other shoulder. Make it feel so good in your back, all across your hips for another 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale, and 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Very good. And then plant the left foot down on the ground. Your right heel extends towards the ceiling. And your foot is flexed, so that means that it's not pointed like this, but it's flat like you're putting a footprint on the ceiling, right? And you're going to try to hold your knee as straight as possible and just interlace your hands right behind your thigh. You don't want your chin sticking out, so tuck that down to chest so your back is long, and then push your thigh into the hands. Breathe. Imagine like you're sending your breath all behind that knee where it's tight and achy for 3. Deep breaths right up through the heel and through the toes. Good. 1 more. Inhale. Good. Now pretend like your foot is a big paintbrush and keeping your knee really straight. Imagine like you're just painting one of your favorite colors right on the ceiling. All the way across, full range of motion if you can. If your hip's a little tight or you have a little bit of a limitation, you only have to do little swipes of color, right? Never do anything that doesn't feel right in your body. Good, and then come back to center. Now imagine like your big toe has that paintbrush and you're just drawing big circles on the ceiling. And just twirling your toe around, full range of motion so that ankle feels great. Really good, Martina. Yep, in both directions. Good. And once that leg feels nice, bring your ankle onto your thigh. So it's kind of like you're a man sitting in a chair reading a paper, right? But instead it's like a really nice hip opener. Maybe take your arms wide open or overhead and just windshield wiper swipe this whole shape side to side. So now your hip is just kind of loosening here. This is such a nice little hip opener. Those of you who want to go a little deeper, have more flexibility, you could take your left foot away from the ground and pull this shape into chest. Kids usually have hips that are pretty open, so this should be no problem for most of you. Breathe into it. It's always nice to have a lot of options though, right? Because it's not about how far you go, but just about what's right for you. Go ahead and release and let the right foot plant down now and take your left foot high to the sky. Interlace behind the thigh. Thigh pushes into the hands. Chin again is down to chest. And again, we're not pointing the foot, we're flexing. And the knee ideally is straight. Do the best you can and breathe with it for 3. Oh, that feels so good. 2, just opening up that whole hamstring. Hamstring stretches are really good for kids because while their hips are really open, kids' hamstrings tend to be very tight because they are growing at such a fast rate, especially their legs are growing so fast, right? Start to windshield wiper swipe this leg side to side like you're painting your second favorite color right across the ceiling, right next to your first color. Make it feel good, full range of motion. Knee stays as straight as possible as you breathe into it. Good, and then come back to center, and as you twirl the toes around, imagine again like the toe, the big toe is painting circles, just like we did on the other side. Take another breath or 2 right into the ankle as you twirl, and then remember, yep, exactly, to do both sides, both directions. And to finish up this leg, again, we're going to bring that ankle right to the thigh. The arms may become wide, and this time it's the left hip that gets a nice little gentle rocking and opening. Giving this left hip a little love, make it feel good for another breath or 2 here. And only if it feels loose enough to go deeper, when you're ready, take the right foot away from the ground, you got it, and maybe rock it out. Martina's been doing yoga with me since she was probably like 2 years old, and then my oldest Zoe's been doing yoga with me since she was a baby, baby yoga. So her practice is pretty strong. We usually do a practice that's more like for grown-ups, right? Yeah. Go ahead and release. This next one I really like. We're going to take our feet kind of wide apart. And then we're going to windshield wiper our knees side to side. So the knees are going to go in the same direction as one another. And if you have someone next to you, like a family member doing yoga with you, you might want to coordinate so you're not knocking your knees into each other. Good. Breathe and make it feel like a good massage right across that low back, right through the hips for another breath or 2. Every time we release any tension in the hips, it's always like a nice sigh kind of comes out, right? Let's try one together. Inhale. It feels good. Good. And then before we come up, let's do one more thing, and we'll do it for the neck here. So a lot of you guys, you're doing remote learning, so you're on the computer a lot more than you probably normally would be, right? And you're on your phone, so sometimes when we do that, we tend to hunch over, and our head sloops down, and our neck hurts. I know my girls have been saying that. So let's take our hands behind the head, and then relax the head heavy down, and feel the elbows really drop. And with the chin slightly tucked to chest, push the head hard down into this pillow you just made with your hands. So you're going to keep pushing your head hard down the whole time here as we breathe 3 breaths, as if you're just filling your whole neck, cervical spine, right? That's called the cervical spine. Your whole column right up with prana, right up with breath. So inhale, keep pushing. Exhale. The head is pushing down like a plug in a socket. Good. 2. So nice. And last one. Good. And release. Now, if you'd like to, you can just roll over and come up to seated. Or if this is fun for you or accessible, you're going to grab behind your thighs and use your feet to rock forwards and back, massaging from your shoulders to your hips. As many times as you'd like, just waking up your whole back, all the lymph glands, and then come up to seated for our next section. Good, so once you've rocked up, Let's try this fun balancing pose. It's called boat pose. So we're gonna kind of walk our tiptoes in towards us as we hold on right behind the thighs. Good, and then feel your chest lift up, so don't round your back like that. Lift up a little higher, good. And then see if one foot can lift up, maybe two. Breathe here for a few breaths, maybe 3. Good. Come in and out of it as many times as you'd like to. Good, one more. Good, set your feet down for a second. We're gonna try another challenger, but first let's stretch our backs out. So grab hold of your knees, round chin to chest. Inhale, arch, chest up, chin up. Good, do 2 more of these. Inhale, round and arch. Good. Good. Coordinate the breath however works for you. Last one. Feel really good throughout the whole spine. And then let's try our second harder version. So now we're grabbing behind the thighs. Option 1, maybe one foot comes off. Option 2, maybe the other one comes off. And option 3, maybe the arms let go and it is like you're like a little boat floating in the ocean. Good. 2 more breaths. This is hard, right? You feel your core activate, your quads activate, and release. And this time we're going to take a nice cross-legged posture. Same thing though, grab the knees and arch, inhale, and round, exhale. Let's do maybe 5 of these. Good, 2, 3, and 4. Last 5. This time, still point A to point B, but take a nice circular movement. We call these the yogi rolls. Right? Sounds like a sushi roll, doesn't it? The yogi rolls. What would be in a yogi roll? What do you think, Martina? If it was sushi.
I think definitely like healthy, like
Some vegetables maybe?
Vegetables,
What do you
yeah.
think? What kind of veggies? What do you think?
I think maybe like some avocado and like and some cucumbers and carrots. Maybe.
That's right. That sounds about right. Let's switch directions for 3. And 2. So we did the wind up. Now we're doing the unwind. So nice. This is so nice for your whole spine. Your whole spine is like a DNA spiral, right? I'm sure you guys are learning about that in science. Very good. And if the legs feel a little tired of being crossed for so long, let's do this. Stretch the legs out. Scoot your bums back. And so if your hamstrings are pretty tight, I would suggest having your hands behind you, fingertips on the ground, not palms, and lift the chest. Try to straighten the knees and breathe here with the chest lifted and the crown lifted. And that's it. But if you have a little more range and you keep your toes up, maybe the hands come forward, but only if you can keep tall in the spine, good, without rounding. And that might be good there. If you can go further for the ankles or toes, go for it. But never sacrifice stability for range, right? So that means that if you feel pretty stable and you're a little bit challenged in one place, don't try to go way deep into a pose just because you think it's better. Take another breath or 2 here. Shoulders relax down away from the ears. Good, chest is lifting, toes are up. For another breath. And then maybe a little rocking side to side. Again, maybe think of that little boat on the ocean. Just kind of bobbing around. Make it feel good in the body. And we'll do another little class favorite here. I've been told by my children that the butterfly stretch is one of the favorites, right? Hands around the toes. Again, this is another one there. If you don't have a lot of flexibility here, fingertips behind, chest lifted, knees relaxing heavy down can be quite nice as a first option. Option 2, maybe the hands are forward. We don't ever want to do nose to toes. Think about belly button to heels. So you maintain that very nice long flat back. If there's room to go a little more forward. And you could even start sweeping a little side to side to loosen all the tight ligaments and tendons around the hips. Let's do this for another breath. This is so lovely, so nice, isn't it? Maybe another one of those nice hip opening sighs. Inhale. Ah. Good. Come back to center and let's flap our butterfly wings a little bit here. It's kind of always fun. Good. Right leg extends. Let's mirror them actually, because those guys at home, it'll look like this is our right leg. So right leg extends and our left knee is bent. Go ahead and take the opposite hand down to the shin or toes if you can reach. And the other hand just stays kind of on the hip or behind you. Either way is fine. Look over towards your right for a nice little twist. This is so good for digestion. This is such a nice stretch for spine health. One more breath. And when you're ready, this hand that was reaching for the foot comes behind you, palm plant, and then you're going to lift up off of your hips, off of your bum, and reach up and back past your head with the palm facing down. Very good, Martina. And you feel that stretch from toes all the way to fingertips. One more big inhale. So nice. And then release right to how we started, sitting down. Very good. And then switch. So now you guys are home. Your left leg is extended, right? Toes to the sky. Find your sit bones. And when you're ready, reach your right arm high. And then take that right hand to the left leg. Good. If you can't grab the toes, the shin is fine. Remember that, support is more important. Shoulder away from the ear. Really tall through the crown. Look behind you a little more, past that left shoulder. Beautiful. Take another breath or two in this nice twist. So nice. One more. Good. And this hand that was reaching forward now sweeps past the knee, palm plants down, and as we lift up off of the hips, we reach up and over, left hand extending past the head now. Beautiful line from fingertips to toe tips. One more big breath. And release. Very good. So now we're ready to come on to hands and knees. Great. So we're going to flip over so that we're on hands and knees next. So the hands have to be fingers spread wide, and the hands are right under the shoulders, and the knees are right under the hips. Good. Let's do a couple cat-cow stretches. So when you're ready, inhale, lift your chin and lift your tailbone. Good. And as you exhale, round like a cat, chin to chest. Good. Let's do 5 of these. Inhale, look up, tailbone up. Beautiful. Exhale, round. Keep the breathing flowing for 3 more. This is so good for your spine, really moving it, stretching between each vertebrae and disc. Good, and now in a rounded position like this, let's start doing our circles. I always think of this like the Tin Man, right? Because it oils up our joints. You can feel your wrists, your knees, your shoulders, and your hips really getting kind of unlocked here. It really is like you're oiling up the joints. A few little snap, crackle, and pops might even come out like Rice Krispies, right? Switch directions for 3. Very good. 2, elbows stay straight. Good, and 1. And now let's come into child's pose. So go ahead and come into child's pose, Martina, and I'll sit up so they can hear me. You want to take your knees a little bit wider and your toes stay touching. Good, and then relax the head heavy down. Your elbows will come down and breathe here for 3. This is a great pose whenever you have a stomach ache or if you're just not feeling very well. It's a great pose to come into anytime. Nice. Keep breathing, feeling good, letting those limbs relax heavy down, again as if they're in warm sand. Good. Maybe the hips now start rocking a little side to side, and you start massaging right across your forehead, from temple to temple as the hips loosen. Good. Keep rocking the hips side to side here. That's it. Very nice. This is a nice way you can also kind of bring a little stimulation to the crown chakra now. So when you're ready, roll up onto the crown of your head. Look at me, Martina. Right like that. Yes, that's it. It's like you're an ostrich sticking your head in the sand. Massage here and breathe for another breath or two. This is kind of like all the benefits of headstand without all the work. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come on up to standing on knees. And parents or grandparents, if you're doing this with the kids and the knees aren't so great, you can always put a folded towel underneath your knees. Martina, if you can just scooch back a tiny bit, perfect. Knees are going to be hip-width distance apart for this one. If you're a beginner, let your fingertips kind of lay facing down and your palms are right at your low back. You want your belly pit pulling in with your tailbone going down, elbows squeezing, and this is what level 1 would look like. If you want to go a little further, maybe the fingertips are pointing up, and that allows you to go a little further. If you feel open enough that you'd like to try a more challenging camel pose, your toes are tucked into the mat, and you're reaching back for your ankles, and the head is still facing up. Harder still would be tops of the feet down, and as you reach back, your head drops all the way. Please only do this option if you have the experience for it. So those are your options. Let's go ahead and choose one now. Make your choice, Martina. And let's breathe here for 3. Make sure it's sustainable, nothing hurts. 2. And that you can breathe. Last deep breath in. Good. From here, let's take it right to down dog. That'll feel like a great counter stretch from camel. Tuck the toes into the mat and the hips go high. And as you push the ground away with your hands, the belly glides to your thighs. Very nice down dog, Martina. It's not important that your knees are perfectly straight here. It's more about pushing the mat away and getting a nice extension through the back, right? That's the nice stretch right here. Take another breath or 2. Make it feel like you can kind of relax here as you hang out. And then on the next inhale, lift your heels high, come to your tiptoes, stretch those toes. Good. Exhale, root the heels back down. Let's do that once more. Inhale, stretch the toes. Very good. Exhale, root the heels. Then bend the right knee slightly. Feel the left heel really root. And then switch, kind of like you're pedaling it out. Very nice. Do this for another breath. And when you're ready, step to your hands at the front of your mat. Or hop. Okay, and then for ragdoll, now next, we're going to separate our feet kind of wide apart, knees pretty bent, head hanging. We're going to grab opposite elbows, and as we rock side to side, think about yourself like a ragdoll. Or I like to think of it like a pendulum in a big grandfather clock, just tick-tocking, right? But you don't have to just go side to side. You can also go forward and back. Anything that feels good, loosening and opening the low back. Breathe as you do this. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale. One more, big sigh. And then the hands drip down, keep rocking. And bring the feet hip-width distance apart, so walk them in. And then bend the knees and take your arms like a reverse swan dive out to the side and look up. And as you push down into the feet, reach up, 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 up. Fingertips spread to the sky. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Beautiful. From here, take your toes a little wider than your heels. Let your palms face forward. And then just lift one heel and then the other, rocking in a nice way. And if it feels good, maybe even pretending like there's a big hula hoop around you that you're just tracing. Look behind you a little more each time. Big hula hoop, so it feels really good and loose. Very nice. Good. Let's come to the front of our mat and try our sun salutations. Feet together. All the way together with the feet. Good, Martina. And feel the heels root down, belly pit pull in, nice and firm. As you inhale, reach up, feel the palms face each other. And as you exhale, settle here for a second. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your heels really root and feel your head come to center. Take another deep breath in, feel your fingers spread. And as you exhale this time, big swan dive, like you're diving into a swimming pool. Maybe catching behind your calves or ankles for a nice juicy stretch. Ideally, the knees are straight. Do the best you can. As you inhale, bend your knees and imagine like your back is becoming a tabletop surface, really flat back. Palms plant flat. Step it back. High push-up. Let's see that best high push-up you got with the booty a little bit down. Good. And then bring your knees, chest, chin down for inchworm pose. As you inhale, slither through for cobra. Good. Shoulders away from the ears. Very good, Martina. Feet not too far apart. And then as you push the ground away, feel that nice stretch through the spine. You can rock it out here. If this is too much, Martina, stay as you are. Another option is to come to elbows. And this is Sphinx pose, and it's a little gentler on the back. Loosening up here. Good. From here, either child's pose or downward facing dog. You choose what's right for you and take 3 breaths as you rest here in either child's or downward facing dog. Inhale. Let it all go. One more. Inhale. Inhale. If you're in child's pose, come first to flat back, little tabletop, and then to downward facing dog to join the others who have chosen that. Then walk or hop to your hands. And as you inhale, again, come to that flat back, maybe hands on the shins, crown lifting. And then as you exhale, fold. So just like we started, we're going to end where we reverse swan dive out of that pool. Imagine like a video playing backwards of a big swan dive. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Stand with the toes wider than the heels. Mountain pose for just a breath or two to cool down from that. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And let's try one more. Feet together. Arms reach up, radiating. Exhale, settle into the pose. Belly pit pulling in, shoulders broadening down, head centered. Inhale, feel the fingers stretch up like you're blooming like a flower, upwards, skywards. And then exhale, swan dive. Imagine into that imaginary pool right down. On your inhalation, come to flat back. On your exhalation, as you plant your palms flat, step it back, high push up. Really nice straight lines and lower down either chaturanga or again that inchworm pose. Inhale, up dog or sphinx. Hold it here, shoulders away from the ears. Nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Breathe here, feeling good for 3. Good. 2. Last one. If you're in child's pose, inhale, tabletop now. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Then bend the knees and walk or hop to the hands. On your inhalation, come to flat back. And on your exhalation, fold. Inhale. This time, bend the knees a lot. And let's just kind of roll up like a Very loose ragdoll all the way to standing. And maybe when you get to about here, it's like zombie ragdoll, right? And your head is just kind of the only thing dropped. And then we come up all the way through the spine, and eventually all 10 fingers reach up as that head comes up last. And as you push down, reach and shine like a flower blooming in spring. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Very good. Come into mountain pose. Breathe here for a few breaths. Martina, back up just a little bit. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feeling good. Exhale. Last one. Very nice. And when you're ready, let's come all the way to the back of our mat for some fun standing balance poses. So we're going to start at the back of our mats, and we're going to have our hands on our hips. And when you're ready, step into your left foot. No, it's okay, Martina. We're doing our right foot, but those guys at home are doing their left. And then the crown is right over the heel. And you could take your tree pose where the heel is just kind of propped up against the ankle. This is level 1. Level 2, maybe just below the knee. And maybe just above the knee for tree pose, a little bit higher up. Good, that looks good. And then when you're ready, bring the hands in front, maybe at prayer pose, or keep them on the hips. Crown is tall, chest is lifted. Breathe here for 3. Maybe you're gazing out the window at a beautiful tree. Good. 2. Trees give us so much nice things like oxygen that we breathe. Right? Thank goodness it's warm enough to go for hikes at this time when we're all cooped up. Reach through all 10 fingers, the heels as if they're rooting down through your floorboards. Very nice. And then release when you're ready. Hands on hips. See if you can just step right into the other side, right into your right side. And again, take that heel maybe just against the ankle, just below the knee, or up into the inner thigh. And as you push the foot into the inner thigh presses back. Chest is lifted, gaze is set. That is called the drishti, your focal point. Breathe here. Good. For 3. So nice. 2. Last one, reaching up. If you have a buddy near you, maybe holding hands, touching branches. Try to challenge. Good, and release. Now those feet that was just holding us, maybe they need a little love. So just go ahead and swish the toes out a little bit like they're conducting a symphony in an orchestra. And maybe the other one. Good. Very good. For this next one, we're going to do airplane pose. It's another fun balancing pose, a little more challenging, but just have fun with it. We're going to step into our right foot and feel our chest really lift up and our wings set sail right behind us, palms facing down. This might be enough here, just balancing on the back toes, but if you can lift up into airplane pose, go ahead and start kind of keeping the chest lifted, the leg rises up. Breathe here for a few more breaths. There's lots of variations you can do here, so if you know them and you're familiar with them, go for it. 2 more breaths. Inhale, every inhale, lift. Every exhale, soften into it, make it sustainable. Good, 1 more, inhale. And as you exhale, release. Step it back once more. And then step into your left foot. Chest lifts as you step. Gaze sets, maybe the wings start extending back, and maybe you lift off of that back foot and start lifting it. Doesn't have to be very high. Every inhale, lift. Every exhale, soften. 2 more breaths. That looks great, Martina. Last one. It's okay if you lose it. Just come right back in. Doesn't matter if we ever fall out of our grace, as long as we come right back in, undefeated, right? And release when you're ready. Good, and then go ahead and just swish the toes out. And then let's come all the way down to laying on our mats when we're ready. So we're just gonna come laying down when you're ready. I'm going to be talking to show you how to do this as Martina models this. So once we're laying down, our back feeling good, go ahead and float your legs up. We'll do something kind of fun and silly, and this will feel great. Imagine now like your heels are clicking together like Dorothy, right, from The Wizard of Oz. But now keeping your knees right, nice and straight, open your toes apart like a mermaid fin. Good, and do that a few times. Zipper them shut, and then open them like a mermaid or a merman fin, and then back together. Couple more times. Good, this is so good for the feet. Very good. And then the next time you open wide, go ahead and see if all 10 toes can kiss, like a little prayer. Go ahead and try that a couple more times. This is so good to strengthen the ankles, because the ankles, wrists, and neck are 3 places in the body that have a lot of flexibility but not a lot of muscle support, right? So this makes them strong and supple and flexible. Very good. And then go ahead and relax the feet down, wide apart, knees touching like a little tent, palms face up. And we're gonna just kind of start our cool down, letting go here for 3 big breaths. Again, imagine like you're on that favorite beach. Big, slow inhale, fill your belly, fill your chest. Exhale, feel your limbs as if they're sinking into warm, salty sand. 2 more. Notice how your breath sounds like the ocean, right? When you do Ujjayi breathing. Because a lot of yoga is yoking. It's like you, the drop of ocean water, comes back into the wholeness of the universe or the wholeness of the ocean. So it is as if you're yoking back with everything around you, the macrocosm, right? Good. Take another breath, feeling good. Maybe even windshield wipering your knees side to side. 1 more time. So nice. And let's try a little twist here. Pull the knees into chest and take your right hand to your left knee. Your knees are going to go all the way to the right, but your left arm is extended left. And maybe your head starts to revolve so that your head faces left. So remember, knees are right, left arm extended. And your right hand can weigh down the top of the knees. What makes this the twist is that the shoulders are lying side by side next to one another horizontally, while your hips are stacked one on top of each other vertically. Feel good here. This should be a nice feel-good pose. It's like all your endorphins come out. You start to feel all your endorphins. Really good. Yummy feelings, right? And then come back to center. And this time the left hand grabs hold of the right knee and the right arm is out. Take the knees up and over to the left as the head is turned right. And the limbs are heavy, falling down into that warm sand. Very good. Breathe here. This feels so nice for 3. 2. Good. 1 more. And back to center. We'll do one more feel good, very nice hip opener called Happy Baby Pose. So you reach with your arms between your knees and you grab the outer edges of the feet. Some people call this dead bug pose, and you take your knees up. Good. Breathe here a couple breaths, just kind of rock it out, make it feel good. This is very good for your kidneys and to massage your back. It's also just nice on the hips. Good. And then grab behind your thighs and rock and roll forward and back 1 more time when you're ready. Okay, one of the last challenging poses we'll do is called shoulder stand. But I want to show you the modification for that first, because not all of us are ready for shoulder stand, okay? So Martina, scooch back a little bit, you're good. So those of you who are not looking for a shoulder stand practice today, or if it's a little bit too kind of far up your level, you just want to kind of float your legs up. Really nice. Your feet are like two buoys. This is plenty. If you're up for shoulder stand, make sure you have plenty of room behind you, plenty of runway. That's good, Martina. And then just go ahead and rock back. Maybe a beginner shoulder stand might look like pretty bent over. I'll scooch forward so you can see my not so good shoulder stand. So it's like this, right? You want to make sure not to turn your head left and right while you do this. Keep your head centered. If you have more practice, more ability, you want to walk your elbows into each other and walk your hands down your mid-back, pushing there so your chest glides to chin. Your legs float up a little straighter. You don't have to point or flex your foot, just kind of keep the legs relaxed. Very good for thyroid health. Breathe here for 3. So good. 2. Last one. Maybe try plow pose if this is okay. One foot touches the ground past your head, then the other. Good. Keeping your head still, right? Maybe both feet touch the ground. And if you can grip very well, release your hands down. But if not, keep supporting your back. Take just another breath or 2 here. Your head is centered. Nothing feels achy or like too much. And then roll down very slowly when you're ready. Good, and then just take a nice relaxing pose on your back for another breath or 2. Maybe your head rocks side to side. Maybe your knees, and just kind of restore your body. And then we'll do bridge pose, which is one that Martina requested. So I will actually be doing bridge pose, and Martina will be doing wheel pose. In gymnastics, they call wheel bridge, so that's the one she was talking about. So if you're like me and you're just going to kind of stick to more beginner practice, you're just peeling your hips up. You're going to interlace your fingers behind you, and your chest is lifting to your chin. You're going to hold it for 5 or 6 breaths. Go ahead and take wheel now, Martina. So if you have experience to do this next one, exactly, your palms stay nice and flat, your feet are nice and flat, your toes stay pointing forward, good. Breathe here for 3, very nice. 2, in bridge or wheel, don't ever feel pressure to do too much too fast. And 1, go ahead and with the chin tucking to chest, roll down and rest. Stay on your back and hug your knees into chest. And relax here for another breath. So it's very important to know this. Learning and benefit is only where there is challenge but not struggle or not frustration, right? That goes for all kinds of learning, even at school, right? Learning is right where there's a little challenge but not frustration. So it doesn't matter what your friends are doing or what people around you are doing. What matters is that you're learning right where you need to be. Good. We're going to come into Shavasana from here. So let's come down into our final pose. As if, again, we're at that beautiful beach. Our palms are facing up. Our feet are flopped open. Everything feels good. If there's a last movement you need to really make sure everything feels open, go for it. Otherwise, coming into this comfortable pose here. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, feel your toes and feet sink into that warm sand. Good, inhale. Exhale, really feel the legs dropping completely into that warm sand, all the micro tension releasing. Good, so nice. And now your torso, inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. And as you exhale, feel your whole torso from shoulders to hips completely relax. Belly is relaxed, chest is relaxed. Yoga is so good for the lungs and the internal organs. Inhale. Exhale, feel the arms sinking heavy into that warm sand. Hands and fingers soft. Good. Inhale. Exhale, feel your head sinking heavy into that warm sand. The neck and all the muscles in the shoulders soften. All the microtension flushing out there. And the head is so relaxed that the muscles around the face feel relaxed. Jaw feels open. Sinuses feel open. Take another breath or two. Feeling really good here. And this is what we call Shavasana in yoga. Shivasana. Shiva Asana. So Shiva. It's about letting go. It's about really just kind of absorbing the benefits of everything we've just learned and letting go of any kind of sluggishness or something that doesn't serve us. It's a deep and final relaxation. Beautiful. In India, they call this the nectar of our practice. It's where we absorb all the endorphins, all the benefits. So in this time, it's very important to keep our spirits up, keep our morale up. Shavasana is kind of like reflecting that. This is the part where all of our endorphins flood in and we feel really good. So yoga is a very good practice for mental health, keeping our spirits up, never feeling defeated. Okay, let's stretch our arms with one last big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to come up to seated when we're ready. If you want to roll over to one side first, feel free. If you're ready to come up, let's face Zelly for our final Oms. And again, I wanted to thank Zuleika, our 7th grader at the middle school and here in Amherst, who just did all the video. And so we're going to just lift our chest up and we're going to end the proper way. So to seal our practice, it's kind of like we're taking a moment to thank the teachers who have come before us. Maybe take a second to thank all our wonderful educators at the Amherst Pelham Regional Schools. And also just kind of having gratitude for life right now, right? Big, slow inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Thank you, Martina.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Conklin, and all of my friends.